we are out here today in Sacramento. We are doing full incognito mode today, not even with the uniforms. Our client is asking for respectful confidentiality, and we absolutely honor the needs and the wishes of each and every client that we encounter, because everybody has different desires and different needs for what they're going to experience, in their space. They just really want resolution. Our goal is to come out here, find the nature of the haunt, and also help them find ways to resolve it, find ways to balance it out. Most of what we're going to do is focus on the blessing today, but we did bring a couple of meters, and obviously we're going to do an intuitive walkthrough. I just want to feel the energy of the space and determine, is it something human, inhuman? What is it that is plaguing the energy of the home? Both the occupant and the occupant's son, who no longer lives here, have both had experiences, and even experiences outside of the space. So we'd really like to understand what that means, what that is. Some of the initial things that I'm picking up, I was kind of feeling when I was talking to them, just kind of coming in and greeting them. I do feel an energy of intuitiveness to some degree with one or more of them, which means there could be some spiritual receptiveness. They kept telling me about dreams and dream states and possibly even sleep paralysis. The other side keeps telling me that somebody's being held or held against their will. And that's kind of what they're showing me, the image they're giving me. I am feeling the energy of a male. They're presenting, but I don't think this is actually accurate to them, but they're presenting to me somewhere between 40 and 60 years of age, kind of tall and looming and a little bit sleazy, to be perfectly honest. There is something that is very disgusting and angry about this soul, and almost abusive, like they hated women, they keep telling me. They hate women. So this may have been a predator in life.
So it's human.
I think that tells me that it could have been human, but maybe going dark into the dark end of the spectrum, trying to be darker. And it gains its power by causing fear and inflicting fear. The more fear it can inflict, especially on the vulnerable, the more it enjoys it like food. But this is a sexual predator. This guy he's an absolute, I would call him a serial rapist. As a matter of fact, I don't quite like his energy at all. This is just tremendously disgusting. So I'm going to holy water the hell out of this son of a, he's got to go, because I'm actually getting the chills. He's nasty as hell. He's almost wearing like this weird torn up shirt. It's absolutely terrible. There is also an older female trying to protect the space, and she's very, very concerned. She's kind of a petite woman, a little bit enabling, a little overbearing, a little nosy and pushy and opinionated, and she means well. She wants to protect, she wants to help. She may be ancestral, like, grandparent, great-grandparent, somewhere like farther into the back, a couple generations back. She is very, very old school. This woman is, the man's role is this, the woman's role is that. She likes the table set a particular way. She's very picky, but she's also very protective. And so I feel like she is trying to help, but there's only so much she can do, she says. There are multiple other influx residual energies from like the past owners, maybe somebody who died here or died near here. But I don't think they're harmful at all. They're more residual and kind of just floating around. So I'm not too concerned about them. But yeah, I don't like that guy. I think I'll probably run into him during the walk. So I would say that we can break for 5 seconds. I'm going to breathe, ground, and then we'll do our walkthrough.
And it's fair to say that we're somewhere in Sacramento.
Yes, we are.
All right.
It's almost like it thought it had a right, but I think this entity always thinks he has a right to something. As if he is entitled. That sense of entitlement is really foul.
He'll be handed his walking papers tonight.
Yeah. Also, when we were off camera, just to note, our clients did validate what I was feeling in the intro.
Yes.
They said that was that
Excellent.
resonated quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that was, it kind of creeped them out a little bit, I guess in a good way, that at least somebody sees what they are feeling, and so they don't feel so alone.
Yep.
And that thing, I'm going to smack that thing right in the face. I've had enough of these entities that think they can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, construction hand.
Yeah, they're doing a little bit of reno, which obviously we know can sort of encourage energy to be a little more active. Hi, puppy. Hey, go puppy dog.
Yeah.
Okay. What is this? I feel a little dizzy in here. Definitely feel that sense of dizziness.
Yeah.
There is a distinct lack of safety feeling in here. I don't feel safe in here. So, it speaks to me. I charged my paranormal puck, and I don't know if it'll hold the charge, but I asked a couple of preliminary questions about like what we were going to encounter, and one of the responses that came up on there was tub.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to ask them about that, if there's any experiences with the tub or not. Don't know what it meant, but sometimes the puck just gives you
That's interesting, though.
weird
And
answers.
what are the chances, right?
Yeah, not every house necessarily has a tub either. Is there anybody in here? And are you touching anyone in here? Because that's not acceptable. I keep seeing something. That's weird. That's uncomfortable. What is that? Not picking up anything, but it's weird. It's the sense of it's restricting the airway and like choking. It's literally like stabbing something in here and restricting my breathing. That is not okay, man. Oh, it's got a lot of pain.
So it's using violence.
I think it is, but I think that's just the sort of speaks to how they were in life.
Yeah, fine.
There is, I felt this really strange sensation in your bedroom.
Yeah.
I felt something like stabbing me right here in the chest and then holding my throat up like this.
Oh, really?
It was like very restrictive and like restricting my breathing. It's kind of the sensation I was feeling. So that's not polite, to say the least.
Very,
I feel like something. I almost see something that paces back and forth, back and forth. It paces around, it moves around, it walks around. There's a lot of pacing going on by something. It's almost like I can hear phantom footsteps.
What a good dog. What a good dog.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello.
I might tell you that this was my mother-in-law's house.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she died in colon cancer. Yes, so it might be.
I might have felt her energy
It's
then.
in our
I wonder if that was her that you were talking about.
Maybe. I mean, it felt like somebody who hit, a little generational, a little bit older. Did it sound like her personality?
Old school.
Old school.
Yeah,
She
She was
was.
old school.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So maybe she's trying to help out.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a little strict, but also like she does seem like she means well. Like she's trying to be helpful.
That kind of sounds like her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, if she's seeing from the other side, if she's seeing energetic problems over here, she may be trying to affect some sort of solution. But it takes a village. It takes your guys is working on it, her helping, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess we'll just kind of do a little more poking around.
Okay.
I don't need to poke too much. If there anything that makes sense or doesn't make sense. What is this space out here? It's like a little patio. Do you have any issues outside? Are there any issues?
She's up outside in the patio. I have.
Because it seems it keeps drawing me out here a little bit. Is it okay if I go out there?
Yeah, go outside. There's a garage out there too.
Okay.
Yeah, just if you go out there, you see the garage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I can turn the light on. There used to be an electrical panel right here. They pulled that because I bought an EMF reader
Oh, okay.
and it was like off the hook.
Oh,
Oh, really?
geez.
Well, we can check that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have a few meters that will narrow it down even more and it'll be more finite. So we'll make sure there's no lingering issues
Okay.
with any EMF problems.
Okay. Yeah, that's the garage right there.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
The light switch is right there.
That's a Berkey. And there's definitely some residual. This is more residual land-based stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely feel more of like a native energy. Yeah, something like Native American type of vibe, but it's not hurting anybody. They're pretty quiet, actually. They're a little annoyed about some stuff, but they're not mad at the clients at all.
Okay.
I have a question about that chair.
Huh.
I feel like severe knee pain. Severe knee pain. Actually, that's quite it. There's something I'm not being told.
About clients, right?
I don't know. Something that they say there's something hidden.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, so we're just gonna check in really quickly with our clients and they're gonna be on audio only for their comfort.
Yeah, off camera, yeah.
Off camera, and you can focus on the medium who's not in uniform tonight. As we mentioned earlier in the intro, we are doing this very incognito and confidential to respect their privacy and their boundaries. We know that is something that's important for some clients and not always respected by every team in the industry. So we like to live up to those standards.
Absolutely.
So obviously you have validated that some of the stuff that I picked up, the gentleman, the way I described him, you say you have seen that man.
Mm-hmm.
And
other people though too.
And you've seen other individuals walking through the space.
Standing right here by the TV.
Okay.
Mainly at night.
Okay. So then my kind of assertion that you may be a little more sensitive to spirit energy, probably fairly close to home and accurate, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, it seems to.
Feels like, yeah.
Based on what you're saying, you see things a little differently than other people, but sort of like how I experience the world, a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had your own set of experiences too, as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Changed a lot.
And some of it, I am assuming, not so good.
Yeah, not good at all.
Okay.
Seen a lot of stuff here and at my place.
Okay. So, do you feel like the energy that plagues here is also trying to attack you at your home?
I believe so. I think it's the same energy. I can't tell because sometimes I'll come here and I'll leave and I'll go home. And so a lot of times that it seems like it's the same energy. Or I can't tell if I pick something up here and I bring it back with me.
Okay.
But I can't tell if it's the same
energy. Because I kind of feel like what it's doing is it's trying to break you down so you can't help protect her. It's trying to manipulate you, cause you to like be apprehensive. Maybe you'll lose sleep, you'll be upset, and you'll be less apt to be able to help and assist.
Right.
I think it's, trying to do that double kind of bullying sort of thing. Because this guy does seem to be a really disgusting, rude, and surly individual, you as, a nice, strong male would be intimidating. And to break you down would be useful because then you can't be the protective son to help out mom.
Right. Yeah, I've got a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I can imagine you guys have worked very hard on it. And I think that you've made some progress. I think that you are chipping away at it, but you need a real big booster, like leg up over the hill, because it seems like you kind of make a few steps up and then you sort of slide back down. Is kind of hamster wheeling.
I'm up and down.
Yeah. I can
I've
imagine.
been getting up mad lately.
Oh no.
So that's not good, I understand.
No, that's not ideal. That would mean it's trying to manipulate your emotions. It's trying to, it's trying to make you think and feel how he thinks and feels. Angry, depressed, aggressive, all of that.
I had thoughts of suicide.
Oh no.
Yeah, I thought it was the EMS.
All the EMF stuff, yeah. Well, we can
do that.
Yeah, no.
This is probably EMF
for sure.
Has been going on for a while.
A high EMF field, and we'll narrow it down with our meters. A high EMF field can definitely affect you cognitively, and it can affect your body. So that we have seen that on cases as well. So that's why we want to narrow that down to
Got a
be
1
sure.
amp out here. We put a 2 amp in.
Okay.
That help. We think that'll help. But
well, we'll definitely scan throughout the house, especially where you sleep and where you put your head, because we have seen it on cases where people literally where they sleep, they're just bathing in EMF all night, and
I sweat sometimes. Not every night.
Well, we'll definitely check it because I want to know if you're getting that high exposure, because that high exposure can cause 50% of what's going on here. And then, of course, it does feed spiritual entities. There definitely is an entity in your space, but if you've got ungrounded electrical, well, that just,
Hometown buffet.
yeah, that's just a nightmare on top of a nightmare because it'll...
knob and tube wires.
Well, we'll definitely look at it. We'll definitely figure it out.
That's...
Well, we've got a ton of meters that will narrow down, to the most finite measurements to see if it's something to actually be worried about or if it's kind of under control.
Okay.
We'll be able to totally narrow that down.
Yeah.
Clearly, we can't fix electrical problems. That you have to hire somebody else for.
No.
But we can at least narrow it down to say, yeah, you need to call somebody. And, that kind of thing. So we kind of covered some of your experiences. Obviously, you're getting physically, basically violated.
Yeah, it didn't start like that at first.
So how did it kind of begin for you?
Just saying things.
Okay.
Just first saying things, flash a light, and then maybe something go dark real fast. I mean, from that bedroom into the hallway, I seen somebody run.
Oh.
One time.
So me seeing stuff walking back and forth.
Mainly things like real fast, first.
Okay.
That. But then it was starting to tingle my hair. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Can it read my mind?
Not exactly, but it can manipulate your emotions.
It can, and they can if she lets it.
Well, yeah, if you don't basically say you are not welcome mentally, that's really all you have to do is just say you're not welcome to any part of me, mind, body, spirit. You know, you have to kind of reiterate that.
Mm-hmm.
So, because all of it's about consent
Mm-hmm.
with these type of bully energies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So obviously it's escalated over the course of how long would you say?
Well, I think since August. So we're looking at, what, 9 months?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I've been going on.
Okay.
The tingling and all the things that's going on stinging me.
Mm-hmm.
Stings. Yeah, I think it stings.
That is not good. So are you getting any physical like welts or bites or scratches that you're seeing? Or is it just the physical sensation of it?
But then I had a bite. I woke up last night and I had a sting here and I noticed a little bump right there.
Okay.
And then...
You had a rash on your stomach after she had popcorn one night with salt on it she put on.
Well, that was...
Yeah, because obviously you want to rule out medical stuff too.
Lake Tahoe and I got a sting here.
Mm-hmm.
And the next couple of days I had a big bump there.
Mm.
So...
Okay.
Yeah, I've had, but...
You've had a few little...
Not
Have you had
all.
Charlie horses? I've had Charlie horses
Yeah,
where I've
I
seen
get-
an entity
yeah,
in my house
I
and
get-
it like jumped at me and it like pulled my calf.
Oh, yeah, no, it can do that.
With muscle cramps.
If you physically see an entity and then you, right after you get the pain, yeah, that's much more of a correlation. Obviously, some stuff, you kind of have to bridge the gap between some stuff is spiritual and some stuff is just medical, your body, things happen.
Right.
You know, you have an allergy or you have a reaction, neuropathy, whatever. But also if you have a weakness in your physical body that's a medical issue that can be over here, the spiritual realm sometimes likes to take advantage of whatever your weaknesses are and poke and prod at you in the places that you're already physically actually, you know, weak or you have an issue that's pre-existing. So kind of the both can be true thing. You know, it doesn't mean that every, you know, bump or pain or this or that is necessarily spiritual, but it doesn't mean that they won't take advantage of these conditions. If, you know, if you have bad back or if you have a weak stomach or, you know, we're talking about how you're having some stomach problems. If you have a natural predisposition already to have a weakness there, they will capitalize on it.
Yeah, I've had muscle, like I'm in my muscle weakness,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of grabs that sometimes, but it does the tingling thing here,
Mm-hmm.
right here.
Okay.
Yeah, foot too, something mostly.
But nothing before last August.
Pardon?
Nothing before last August, though.
The tingling?
Just on anything paranormal.
Yeah, any paranormal or any of the physical symptoms either. Yeah.
I can remember, any
Okay.
of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like it kind of all culminated when that spiritual door, as we talked about earlier off camera, that may have been opened, and then just things just started dominoing. I mean,
Yeah.
especially if you guys were already a little bit spiritually inclined, all it takes is that little bit of a push over into the edge of the other kind of the paranormal realm that just says, oh, okay, let's see what we can do here. And it often isn't at any fault of your own. It's just that little kind of oops that just, there it is. It opens the door, they're in, and they're bringing their friends, and, you know, they're having a party in your place, but it's not a party for you guys.
So it don't take much.
Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes you're right at that edge because you're already gifted. You're right at that precipice, and all it takes is that little puff of wind of just like, and knocks you over into the pool.
Could it be that this is an older area too?
Oh, the land could absolutely have some, because I saw some Native American people out in your backyard. They didn't seem threatening or harmful at all. They seemed very nice. So I didn't find any problems with them. But yes, the land absolutely could be a factor. Yeah, the history of, even before there were houses, or maybe when there's only a few houses around here, that can clearly be a factor in having spiritual energy and heightening the energy of a space. Mm-hmm. So, and maybe this guy, maybe he was a sleazeball in the vicinity years ago, and he was just like, oh, these people look nice, and and then he comes on in. Mm-hmm. So, he sees you, your energy looks tasty, and here he is.
Yeah.
He's got to go, however.
Yes.
And I don't take no for an answer when it comes to these things. I'm extremely determined with the dark entities, especially when they are victimizing someone who is just kind and warm and what I consider innocent. So I don't.
I've always just been, I've always been a nice person.
Yeah. No, there's no excuse for this thing messing with you. So is there anything you want to add to the kind of the basics, or we can definitely just jump into the meters if you're comfortable with that, or do you have any kind of other big ticket items or things that we absolutely should know about your experiences beyond what we've heard so far?
Just mainly that,
I think you hit it on the spot.
Yeah, you hit it on the spot, but like I said, just started getting, stings.
I'm so sorry that's happening to you.
And like
that's very frustrating.
Well, I have a question. Why? I don't know if you know this answer or not, but if she calls on her guardian angels to help, why can't they come in and just pull this thing out?
Yeah.
They're probably trying. They are probably making an effort to do that, but it's broken her down so much, So there's that weakness of just like, oh, whatever, and not being as diligent on pushing.
I've asked them to come.
Yeah, well, I mean, which is good. I mean, and you should, and you need to continue. But this thing, it's like a tick.
It's dug in.
It's all dug in. So we have to kind of light its butt on fire. And get it to uncorkscrew out. And sometimes when you say, guardian angels, please help me, please help me, please help me, sometimes they have to utilize other people to come in to be part of the solution. Sometimes that is the help that you've been asking for, is learning how to control your energy, learning how to smudge your house, getting people to come help you. It does sometimes take a village to create the healing. On this plane and with your angels together, but sometimes you need that little extra bit of help. So here we are.
I just want to just talking. I get a tingly feeling right here. It's been a while ago.
Could that be it, or could that be just a spirit?
It could be any. It could be one. Depending how it feels.
Because I get touches all day. I get people touching me.
The light, gentle, just loving touches. Those could be deceased family members just trying to give you love and comfort. There is an older male that seems to be trying to stand in between and protect. He seems kind of stoic, almost military-esque to me. He's got a really strong vibe to him. So he, and these could be generational. These could be 2, 3, 4, 5 generations back of souls that are trying to help you. Some of those will touch you. Some of those will interact with you, and that's perfectly okay. But when they touch you in a way you feel unsafe, uncomfortable, gross, weird, that's clearly a different thing. You just have to know to kind of tell the difference. If you came over and just held the face of somebody you love, like, oh, I'm so glad to see you. Okay, that's a loving kind of interaction. But if you get somebody touching you in the bum or, wherever else, totally different thing. It's nowhere near the same animal.
In white entities, that's obviously good.
Oh, yeah, the light, the positive, the bright, white, gold, positive forces and energy. Yeah, that would be perfectly.
Yeah, because I've been woken up in the middle of the night. I could have sworn angels, just visually right there.
Yeah, that's very possible. I believe in that kind of thing.
But at the time, I'm kind of what is this? I'm am I still experiencing what's going on here?
Well, they were probably trying to help you or fix you. I mean, is my guess. I mean, I have the Archangel Michael on me right now. So, they do come and they do try to help, and sometimes you will see them. The things you don't want to see are weird, skittering little dark shadows or mists or that kind of stuff. That's not exactly what you want to have.
That's kind of what I seen, dark shadows.
Yeah.
Early, we started out. Now I see light flashes.
And those are probably some of your protectors trying to combat whatever this thing is. But it's spiritual warfare. If they can only do so much, it's a battle.
Yeah, it's like a whole other thing going on.
Yeah, beyond the vibrational realm that we are in.
Yeah.
We don't see it all. But it's quite real.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's quite real. So I think that
I'm a believer.
we should absolutely break out a few meters and narrow down some stuff. We'll narrow down the scientific part of it. If there's some, ungrounded wiring or something you should be paying attention to, especially in the place that you sleep, that would tell us if something could be affecting you medically and physically that's beyond the spiritual realm, that you should address sooner rather than later. We can affect change in spiritual vibration, but if you have wiring that's causing a problem, that needs a whole other vendor. So
yeah,
Okay.
really, yeah.
Okay.
but we can kind of tell you the difference. We can narrow it down between the two types of things. If we don't see a whole lot of errant EMF, then we know we're dealing with spiritual problems. If we just get like the little flighty energy wafts kind of going through, that's totally different than if it's just like solidly pegging all of our meters right on your pillow or something. That would be a little, it's two different situations. So we will be able to narrow it down between the two.
Okay.
That is what we're for. So I think we'll take 5 and then we'll walk around with some meters anymore. You are not permitted in this home, if you mean anybody any harm, if you touch them in ways that are not considered appropriate, if you violate their boundaries, you are immediately called to leave this space. You may not remain in this home. You may not touch her or anyone that comes here, that visits here. You may not go to anyone else's home, touch them, talk to them, annoy them, harm them, or cause them any pain. You are not permitted to connect to them. You are not permitted to touch them. You are not allowed in this space. This is not for you. You do not belong here. You are commanded by God and His angels to remove yourself and leave this space and not connect to, attach to, or follow anyone. You are commanded to go into either the light or wherever you feel that you must go to seek your judgment. You are not permitted here. You are not permitted to remain. You may not attach to anyone who lives here, visits here, is associated with them. No matter where they go, you may not follow. You may not connect. You are not part of this household or this family. Only the positive, loving, protective energies are permitted to remain from this point forward. If you are not of the angelic space, you are commanded to leave this space and leave them alone. You will not touch them. You will not attach to them. You are not permitted anywhere near them. They do not belong to you, and you do not belong here. Only the protective angelic forces may remain in this home. You may not touch me. You may not touch Brent. You may not connect to us. You may not harm us. You are not to hurt the clients. You are not to hurt the occupants, their family, or their animals. You are not to touch any of them. You are commanded by the light to move on and away from this space. Ooh, yikes. Let's not start a fire in the house.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm just getting into my smudge.
Did I see that?
Because I don't permit creepy entities bullying people.
Absolutely not.
That is not how we roll. This space is only of love, only of light, only of healing. If you are not of that healing energy, you are now called to leave. There's only room for light in this space and love in this space. If you do not dwell in that vibration, you are now commanded to leave. This is a space of peace and tranquility and love and light and healing. You may not touch anyone in any way in this space. Do not affect their dreams. Do not affect their day. Do not affect their body. Do not affect their heart, mind, body, soul, or spirit. You are now denied access The cords are severed. You have no permission in this home or around anybody associated with this home. You are forever cast out of this space. From this point forward, only positive energy will be permitted in this home. You may not stay here. You may not dwell here. Yes, I mean it. I sure as heck do mean it. You are not allowed to stay. Boy, he's got a cantankerous little attitude, don't he, though? This is a home of peace, light, healing, and love. And you may not remain if you are not of love and light and healing. This is not your space, and you have no permission here. Your permissions are revoked. You are called to leave. You have no ties here. You have no authority here. The authority of the light commands you to go. This is a space of love, light, peace, and healing. And everything that is here is only to vibrate in the light. You may not touch her ever again. Your permission is removed and denied, and you are now called to leave. Yes, yes. And fuck you too.